AI exists in every business. Either we accept it as the business leaders, or if we just turn the other side and think that we're not using AI. Our guys are using AI on their phones, on their devices. Shadow AI is a huge danger. We actually have a product that we deploy to our computers for DLP, for AI DLP, to find out what is being used and carve out to give the visibility to business. So people think that, oh, we're not using AI yet, but you're wrong.
A lot of leaders feel pressure to do something with AI, but don't know where to start strategically. What framework or mindset should they adopt to just take that first step and start kind of having that journey?
We are actually fenced with our own imagination of what's possible because we were actually not born within this technology surrounding us, and we've built our own virtual limitations that we think are gonna hold us hostage to how we can personalize and basically materialize AI. But bringing young kids into these programs early on, into the ML and the DL and all these kind of stuff, and get them to be exposed to the capabilities.
Welcome to AI by Design podcast. Brings MSP leaders into real, unscripted conversations about innovation that actually works. Hosted by Kaila, it's focused on turning AI into measurable business impact.
Ahmed, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunny, and thank you for hosting me. It's a privilege and honor to be with you here. This is Ahmed Mahmood, the founder and CEO of Ocean Solutions, a security-first MSP out of the DC metro area that is, as most of the mature MSPs, in a transition to be an MIP, and I'm glad to be here.
We appreciate you joining today. So tell us a little bit about the business. Where are you based, your focus, any vertical? So we get to know a little bit about your business and you from the business point of view.
Ocean Solutions was an ocean of solutions concept that I had in mind. I worked in the MSP industry and I noticed how businesses are struggling with finding multiple vendors to tie up all of their technology together, and they're tired of the finger pointing. So I wanted to bring a technology first firm that would basically take on the responsibility for these small to medium businesses so they could focus on their business objectives. So we're very diverse. We handle things. We're a Microsoft partner on solution designations. We're one of the 32 Apple premium partners. We have Linux experts. We've cybersecurity team. We are a cloud partner and working on a lot of the AI initiatives around our client needs. We handle the day-to-day support, the complex network setups, as well as all other aspects of businesses. So if it's a donation platform, if it's a CRM, if it's integration, we do not push back challenges, which made us unique. And that's what made us also in need for solution technology provider like you guys that could plug any gaps that we face, because we operate in the unknown world. Every customer could surprise us with a new skill sets needs to plug their gaps. And that's what brings a company like IT by Design to be very valuable, because we could basically steal some of the resources to get our clients where they need to be.
Yeah, borrow and inspire. So we spent like last 2 days together, but then I'm inspired by your story. And you said something in the room that was very impactful. Share with us in terms of your origin story, like what inspired you to be an entrepreneur, and just a little bit about how you started your entrepreneurial journey and why. What is your why? Why is it important to you to be an entrepreneur?
When you find your why, it changes everything for you. And for me, I'm somebody that had failed many times in business to find success. With every failure, there is a marginal success of you inching in the right direction. And I'm originally from Iraq. I was a little kid with a small ocean computer businesses when I was still in college, and the US involvement in Iraq happened. I worked with the US Army, helped with rebuilding computers and stuff for schools and hospitals, got into the relationship with them when I started providing internet service. That led into me being tracked by Al-Qaeda, and I had to escape Iraq. I was a 20 years old kid and spent 5 years in Syria. Came to the US with a wife and kid in 2009. I still remember I had $2,164 in my pockets and a lot of dreams in my bag, but landed here facing a lot of challenges, cultural, differentiations, language challenges, and US experience. At the beginning, as a refugee, I did not have citizenship at the time to be able to serve with government contractors and places where my expertise would apply. When I came in here, I had about 30 Microsoft certificate under my belt, and I was just a heavily deep technician. And then I operated an MSP. I quadrupled the size, worked in the industry there for 9 years. And in 2019, I decided to venture on and start Ocean Solutions. That was a company I used to use to teach for George Mason University since 2011. So it was rebooted. Since then, our company has went through tremendous success. I was lucky to be surrounded by one of the finest teams in the DC metro area that had helped me focus on the business objective and propel the clients forward. We are about $5 million in business. We manage about 6,000 users and about 20 staff members. This year alone, Ocean Solutions had made it to MSP 501 and Next Gen by Informa. We made it to MSP 500 at Pioneer 250, Fast to Growth 150, and Tech Elite 250 from CRN, which we're very proud of these achievements, and we're continuing to move forward. We see a huge tangible market in the AI world, and we're trying to move our business forward. If I was able to do it, if an immigrant like me with nothing, language barriers, financial barriers, all of these kind of limitations, was able in 16 years to build what Ocean Solutions is today, every young entrepreneur has a lot of advantages over me and have no excuse but to leave me to dust for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's where I see a lot of that commonality, where as a first generation immigrant here, coming to just kind of really do some blue collar work and being able to really work hard, pay my dues, and every day learning and growing, becoming a better version of myself every single day, led to this kind of this entrepreneurial journey that I'm going through, just like you as well. And I think there is so much to learn from that. It's like your journey is very inspirational, that no matter how hard it was for you, like leaving the country in that situation, and then making that stop in Syria, and then coming here, and then really not taking anything as a no, but working hard every day, really paying your dues to get to the point where you are today. Congratulations, my friend. And I think normally I say growth will always come from you being able to develop the resilience muscle to deal with adversity, because you cannot go above it, you cannot go below it. You have to go through adversity, and people, where they learn to go through adversity, they see that pain, with the growing pain, as a good pain, and those people do well. And especially now, I think is a nice segue to our next topic, which is going to be around AI, is that now a lot of disruption, a lot of changes are happening, but at the same time, this is one of the biggest opportunity for young generation to do well, where if they can see this as an opportunity rather than it's happening to me, they can just have that mindset shift that is happening for me, and all I need to do is, where is my opportunity, what is my unique skill, and how can I turn this threat into an opportunity? I'm kind of curious to know, Ahmed, from you. You are a thought leader in the MSP channel. You're a thought leader in the SMB space as a trusted technology solution provider for your customers in your market. From the state of AI perspective, when you look at how SMBs and MSPs are approaching AI today, what's the biggest gap you see between where they are and where they need to be? So let's talk about the SMB space in general, that where small, medium-sized businesses are versus where they need to be. And as a now thought leader in the AI space, I know you started that journey, about 3 years ago, and you are far ahead of a typical MSP, because I talk to a lot of MSPs, and when I talk to you, you are, you're ahead of majority of our space. So how are you thinking about the SMB space? And the question basically is that where SMB leaders are today, or SMB businesses, and where they need to be. Can you share your thinking there?
I'm just going to segue with something. This morning, I had an event for Loudoun County Public Schools. We sponsor cyber patriot programs for some of the schools in our area. And I was speaking with the academies of Loudoun, a local elite school for gifted students. I was talking to them about developing curriculum for AI class for high school students. And I told them one thing that I want to share on your podcast here, Sunny. We are actually fenced with our own imagination of what's possible because we were actually not born within this technology surrounding us. And we've built our own virtual limitations that we think are going to hold us hostage to how we can personalize and basically materialize AI. But bringing young kids into these programs early on, into the ML and the DL and all these kind of stuff, and get them to be exposed to the capabilities, their imagination is not yet corrupted with what they've seen possible in the world around them. I think they will be able to take AI to the world of innovation and AGI much further, much faster than we could on our own. So I would say, and that's the segue to what I was about to say, is that AI can go as much as our imagination can go, and can go as much as our pain into our current processes can go. As you know, Sunny, and you've helped a lot of MSPs into these kind of stuff. We did the AI maturity assessments throughout your boot camp, which was a great exercise. And I think we scored like 4.3 or whatever, which was great. I was inspired to see that we've gone that along, but that doesn't mean if you're 2.3, you have to be discouraged. That just means you have to sprint to catch up, because AI, Sunny, for SMB and AI for MSPs is not a growth opportunity. It's not a TAM. It is a survival game. It's going to bring, if you get on board, you're going to get all the benefits. But if you don't get on board on that train, you're going to be on the track and you will be run by that train. So what I would say, that the gap that I see is that everybody is trying to repeat what others telling them is possible and doable. Oh, you use it for writing, use it for this, and all of that is a beta. Is somebody else's usage of AI. It's not your shoes, it's not Sunny's problem, it's not your limitations. So take what is possible in a neutral way and be the alpha for your needs of AI. And that's why what Ocean Solution has been doing, we've been educating our customers into the possibilities of AI, just expose them with that kind of quick dose of this is AI and this is why it's here. And we step back. We let them in each department think about how they can leverage it into their daily challenges and bring it, because the use of AI for let's just spend some time and money on AI could be useful for an R&D shops like us that trying to get our engineers to become AI enabled engineers. Fine, we're generalized and we're going to take this skill and we're going to apply it. But that is not the same approach that SMB needs to use, because the SMB needs to apply these technologies within their industry needs. So all what I would say is our job is to educate and open the minds of the department heads and the people in our clients' day-to-day work, for them to come back to us to let us use all of these automation platforms, from N8N to Roost to Copilot Studio to Power Automate to all the other methods, to build them the agents they need. The marketing agents you guys built over our workshop that we did was fascinating, and that applicable to 80% of businesses. Right? If you give that into the right hands, they could create miracles with it. I mean, if it was in the wrong hand, like a business owner like me created good product, imagine it is in the right hands, what it could do.
100%. And one thing that we talked about from the state of AI in the SMB space in general. So if you look at MSPs being SMBs as well, because majority of them are in that category of SMB, like the bigger picture. And so a lot of leaders feel pressure. And while 82% AI adoption is there, that's in some shape or form, people in these SMBs are using AI. It could be as simple as just they're generating emails or some content in the marketing team with ChatGPT or Copilot or something else. But there are some people that are still stuck where it's not easy for them to deal with change. And we talked about some, the Colby way of looking at what your kind of threshold is, or your basically when it comes to quick start. So not everyone have a very high quick start. And that's where people sometimes they struggle to take action, right? So the question is, a lot of leaders feel pressure to do something with AI, but don't know where to start strategically. What framework or mindset should they adopt to just take that first step and start kind of having that journey as at least the first step towards that journey?
So I would say each workforce is diverse in generations, from the younger, more motivated kids, more technology natural, to the technology immigrants, the people that when they entered the workspace, computer was not a general purpose. And if you look into the gap in all of this, AI exists in every business. Either we accept it as the business leaders, or if we just turn the other side and think that we're not using AI. Our guys are using AI on their phones, on their devices. Shadow AI is a huge danger. We actually have a product that we deploy to our computers for DLP, for AI DLP, to find out what is being used and carve out to give the visibility to business. So people think that, oh, we're not using AI yet, but you're wrong, because you think that that lady creating all of these presentations for you is very efficient, but actually she is using AI to do it, or he is. And the problem is that when it's not controlled by the company itself, you have no control. And these people, all what they're seeing is the efficiency. They're not seeing the risk. They're not seeing the data loss. They're not seeing the data leakage. I haven't found anything free in this world. I don't know if you have. And some people argue that air is free. And I said, no, we cool it, we heat it, we remove the humidity out of it. It's not cheap either. It's paid for. So when you get free AI, when you get free social media, when you get free product, often you are the product. And that's the problem that people don't recognize. If businesses and business leaders don't take the responsibility of working with partners like you and me and other partners that they have to establish a proper AI acceptance use policy, do a proper education, adopt an AI platform. I wouldn't say, if you're a Google shop, it naturally to go to Gemini. And if you're Microsoft, you might really naturally go to Copilot. Or if you went with the Claude and Claude Cowork, or you went with ChatGPT, you can't go wrong. Any of these platforms, the prices are similar. They're all losing money, as we know, and they're all racing in the same direction. They're all using the same modules underneath to a very good degree. And they all almost as effective with pros and cons, depending on what kind of usage you do. So adopt one of these, select some champions and departments to do it with low cost. Do not leave it to that kind of chaos of not owning it and let it grow on its own, because it's dangerous. If people are sharing sensitive data, we remember what happened with Samsung a couple of years back. Remember, all these blueprints were just out for the grab, and you can, there's no undo. There is nothing you can do. I mean, you either teach it or don't teach it. And once AI got it, it got it.
Yep. Once it's gone, it's gone. And yeah, so I think because of the change, Ahmed, there is just so much changing, and it's happening 10x bigger, 10x faster than the internet age. And my question to you is that now, how do you see AI reshaping the relationship between MSP and the SMBs they serve over the next, let's say, 2 to 3 years?
Thank you for watching the AI by Design podcast. Stay tuned for more conversations at the intersection of AI, leadership, and innovation. Follow us on our channels, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.